Have you ever thought to yourselves, dinner and a movie? We're so bored with that. I have a solution for you. If that's you, stick on around and I'll give you a fix. My name is Danka, if we haven't met, and I'm the married couples coach. And I'm here to make sure that you are able to create a marriage that you don't want to leave. Not now, not later, not ever. I do this exercise with my couples on this couch right here all the time. And every time I do it, it hasn't failed yet. They're always super thankful. So I wanted to share that with you. What happens and what's wrong with dinner and a movie? I don't know that there's anything wrong per se with the dinner and a movie, except that it's one of those things that I say, do it in moderation, find other things to do with one another. You may ask yourself, wait, what? We've done dinner and a movie so many times, right? Why can't we do those? Why can't we do that? And it's not that you can't, but dinner and a movie ends up with you two sitting across from each other. When you're eating, your mouth is full, you can't talk. When you're at the movie theater, most people, when they get there, right, there's the driving there and back, but once you get there, you also don't talk. Most people don't talk during a movie because you're watching the movie, you're sitting side by side, right? Maybe holding hands, maybe having an arm around the other person, maybe an occasional kiss, whatever it may be, but you're watching the movie, you're looking in the same direction, you're engaged in the same activity, but you're not actually talking about anything. You're not spending time connecting with one another, right, in the way that I would want for my couples to connect. And so here's the thing that I want you to, I call this exercise an idea bank, and it helps you get the brunt of the work done ahead of time. It helps with decision overwhelm and just, what's the word, when you can't make a decision, I'm decision fatigued, right? It helps with that. And you end up setting yourselves up for the next 6 months in one sitting, in literally 20 minutes of your time, ready to then just pull one idea out of the hat, and you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you don't have to make any of those decisions anymore. It's all done. It's done ahead of time. You two did it. Nobody else is telling you something that you need to do that you would not be interested in participating in, but you have it all set up. So here's what you do. You set out, get a timer. We all have them on our phones, right? Or on your watch or whatever. Set a 20-minute timer. I want you each to come up, find a piece of paper. Just get a piece of paper. It can be a notepad, it can be on your phone, it doesn't really matter. But ideally you would have it in front of you so that you can then sort of compare and look at it together. Get a piece of paper and a pen. That's all you need. And then I want you to start the timer, set it for 20 minutes, and just write down all the things that you would think would be fun for the two of you to do together, right? What did we used to in the past? What have I always wanted to do and we never did? What did we do and we had a blast doing it? What did somebody talk about at work that they did with their spouse that I was like, ooh, make a note, right? Like take spouse too, take wife too, take husband too. What are all those things that you have heard of or you've experienced and you want to do together? Write them down, one line, one item, and leave a little bit of space in between. What I want you to do is write it, one line you write the item, and then you leave 2 lines empty. One line, write the thing, 2 lines empty, or one, even if it's just one is fine. Skip a line in between. I'll tell you why later. Take 20 minutes. So whatever comes to mind, right? Close your eyes, put music on, do whatever you want to do, but write them down. I want to go to the zoo. So-and-so was like a friend at work was talking about doing a glass blowing date. Let's do that. One of those, right? It can be outside, inside, but these are all things I want you to think about that you would want to do, that it's where it's just the two of you, right? We don't feel any badly or whatever about your friends or your family, but I want you to think, when you think through and write these ideas down, I want you to focus on, this is what I want to do just with the two of us, right? Is there a place you want to go eat? Is there a place you want to go hike? Is there a place you want a new museum that opened? Is there do you like concerts? Is somebody coming into town? Is it the orchestra hall? Do you want to go see a play? I'm spitting. Do you want to go see a play? Do you want to go sit at a beach and read a book? Do you want, right? Like all of the things. And for those of you that are, if you get stuck, I'm gonna put underneath this video, there's I'm gonna post a link to an article where I compiled, I think it was like 5 or 6 couples worth of ideas to get your juices flowing, right? Do I want to do a project together? Do we want to do a puzzle? Do we want to play a game that we've like bought years ago, or somebody gifted us even for a wedding or for some anniversary or for a birthday gift or whatever, and we haven't touched, and we just, right, like we want to go do that. What are those things? Just write them down one at a time. Don't overthink it, right? You don't need to, they don't need to go through any sort of a like prism or whatever of, oh, it needs to fall into these categories, or it needs to be this and this specific, or it needs to whatever it may be, right? Just do it the way that you would. And then when the timer goes off, so just like write as many as you can, okay? When the timer goes off, you should have, right, if I'm really generous, and if you take, 20 minutes instead of 10, you will probably have 10 things on your list or 15 things on your list. And the beauty of this is you're gonna then look at, right, you're gonna put the pen down, okay, let's go through these things, and you two get to decide. I always tell my couples that they get to nix one on their list, that they get to decide. I am unwilling to go. For me, like if my husband put on the on his list, I want to go bungee jumping, I'm like, I'm out. You knock yourself out, go do that with somebody else. I'm not going to participate in that. I can't. I just won't. I can't do it, right? And I may come up with something that he's like, ugh, like I'd rather skip that. So once you decide, and you can decide if it's one, if you come up with 20, maybe one for every 20 you get to, one for every 10 you get to nix. And then the rest of them, here's what, this is key, right? This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go get a pair of scissors. You're gonna go down your line, and you're gonna literally go underneath, right? Like cut it up into little slices of paper or whatever. And at the end, you're gonna fold them up. You're gonna find a bowl that just lives at your house somewhere. If it's a decorative bowl, if it's a practical bowl that you actually use, don't use your favorite cereal bowl that you'll have to like move it and whatever. Find a bowl, find a cup, find a spot for this. Collect them all in there. Throw the ones that you're like, right, the bungee jumping is gonna go in the trash. The rest of them you're gonna fold up, put in a bowl, and then the next piece of this is, right, you're gonna decide when and how often, and put on your calendar. This is literally what you have to do. You're gonna open your Google Calendars. Most people go with those, right? And you're going to decide, are we gonna do it every week? Are we gonna do it every 2 weeks? Or are we gonna do every once a month, right? And then when the time comes, or 3 days ahead of time, depending on what you put on this, right? If there's like if you put on something like, let's go to a Twins game, but we live 4 hours away, then maybe you even separate them out into 2 different buckets. But depending on what it is, and if, right, like, is there a time 3 days ahead of time that you then decide, okay, are we doing and if it's one that doesn't work because you have something that morning and something that afternoon and there's no Twins game, you're gonna go and pull out another one. And maybe the Twins game, you go and you find out like you find a different date that would work for that one, and then you plan on that ahead of time, because you still have to get tickets. You have to figure out how to, you know, when and how you're going to drive down, if you're going to stay at a hotel or whatever, all the things. And so you're going to schedule out your dates, and then when it's time, you're going to pull one idea out, and you already decided, you already know that you want to, like, that's doable, and you either, right, you call the place in advance, or you just plan on going to said restaurant, or going to said park, or hiding in said mountain, or doing whatever on the lake, and what have you. And that way, getting you set up for it, right, depending on how many you came up with. If you have 20, that easily sets you up for the rest of the year, and you are guaranteed that you don't have to do any more thinking about this, that it's not going to be painstakingly, right, like, oh, dinner and a movie, right, what else do we do? And it's also gonna it's just gonna make it so much smoother. So go out, do it, get your spouse on board. If you're not watching this together, go get them and say, hey, come watch this video with me. I found this woman, she had this brilliant idea. Let's she does this with her couples. Let's watch it, and then let's, like, and make it happen, right? Set the next, like, that's your date number one, is gonna be sitting down together on a couch or at the table or whatever, getting the pieces of paper, getting a pen, coming up with all the ideas, nixing the things that you want to nix, and then you pick one out and you do that for the rest of that day. So have a blast with it, and then you do it again when you're, like, out of paper, right, out of and this is a repeatable process, obviously. When you run out of all the whatever is in the ideas in the bucket or in the bowl, you can do it again. You can recycle ones that you've done. You can right, come up with new ones, add new ones. And as you think about this, now that it's on your mind, as other ideas come up, and you're like, oh, so and so said this or whatever, and you just grab a piece of paper, write it down, put it in the bowl, and you will have ideas galore. So that you're never, again, wondering or struck by, like, oh, I don't know what to do. We have to do the stupid movie or dinner and a movie thing again. Boring, right? You'll be set. You'll be set for a year of dates that are both fun and interactive and different, and keeping you away from ever feeling like this is a boring game. So do it. Let me know what you think. Let me know once you do your first date, how it went. I would love to hear. So I'll talk to you later. Do with that what you will, and until next time.